today's topic is, what's my job description? And really what that emanated from is in a discussion that I had with a manager who called in after the call last week. He told me about a meeting that he had with his employees, his salespeople primarily, and he made the comment to them about working your day off if it's the end of the month. And if you're scheduled for, and in this case, Friday is our last day of the month, if you don't work Friday, that shows me your commitment level. So I kind of got a kick out of that, and I said, so the guy that happens to be off Wednesday of this month, he's got a higher commitment level because his day off is not Friday. And it was the first time he ever thought about that. Well, that makes no sense at all. We as managers, as general managers, as owners, we have this big vested stake in the game that they need to be there that day because that's a busy day and that's where we make our month or break our month. In reality, the previous 30 days, 29 days, 27 days in this month's case, that's where you made or broke your month, not one day. And why should one day be that much different than every other day? If we're planned and we're prepared and we communicate well. So I asked him, well, what was the purpose of your meeting? And he said, well, I'm sick and tired of, guys coming in at the last minute saying, okay, I'll work my day off, but I'll take this day instead. I said, so you give them a day off, and then you resent them for taking a day off. Why does that make any sense? If you have 6 people, 8 salespeople, 10 salespeople, doesn't the math dictate you're going to have a day off during the week? You're assigned one. So it happens to fall on the last day of the month, and now you're not a committed person. You should sacrifice your family time, your own time, no matter what. Now, it's up to that individual. If they want to come in, of course, they're welcome to come in and put in additional time. That's in their benefit. They shouldn't feel compelled to come in and sit there and take up space because it makes me feel better. You are a manager, and what is your job description? Your primary job description is to help your salespeople succeed and sell more cars. I have asked many sales managers what their job description is, and it's amazing to me how many of them will start with, I got to sell more cars and make more money. No, actually that's a salesperson's job. So you're telling me you're a salesperson full-time. Well, no, I'm the manager. Okay, your job is to lead these people, train these people, do whatever it takes to help them become more successful individually, help them develop their professional selling skills. That's your job. Their job is to sell more cars and make more money. So if you're not clear with what your job description is, you're probably not sending a clear message to your people about what their job description, their responsibilities are. Everybody at the dealership, regardless of their position, and primarily the managers I'm talking about in this discussion, those managers, if you said, sit down, I want you to write down what you think your primary responsibilities are, you'd be amazed at how you're on different pages. And if they're not going to be clear, then they don't have a clear-cut direction. Any road will take you to a destination that you don't know where you're going. Any road will suffice. And too often in this business, we hire people and we say, well, I hired him to be my parts manager because he was a parts manager across town. The thing you probably forgot to ask, enough questions to find out if he was a good parts manager. If his expectations of being a good parts manager, hopefully a great parts manager, a successful parts manager, hopefully he has an understanding of what it takes to get there. Because if you don't know where you're going, you're already there. And again, in this industry in particular, we're not good at writing job descriptions in most cases. And in most cases, those of us that aren't too bad at it, we're not good at developing the people to actually fill those job descriptions. So it's our job as a leader to identify what is really, what's our primary job description. And if you can do that, then you'll start to realize and recognize the opportunities that you have in front of you to help your people, to help your business grow, and to do the right thing for your customers. Clarity is a wonderful thing. We all know what a lack of clarity gives us, a lack of communication. I went to a dealership that did a mail sale. One-third of the sales staff did not know that there was a mail sale going on because when they had their sales meeting, those 2 people were off. So it's just by osmosis. They sort of realized something was going on. That morning, they had customer cars parked in the dealership parking area for customers. They had customer cars parked. They had loaner cars parked. And I went to the manager and said, what is your job description? And I tried to get him to really think through it. And once he did, it was amazing, because the things that he rated towards the bottom were the things that really were important that day. But he couldn't put them in perspective because he never really sat down and did it. He told me, he said, I'm 43 years old. I've never written out a job description. He's worked in 4 dealerships in his automotive career and never was clear on what his job truly was. And I think if you really look within yourself, within your dealership, within your structure, are they really clear? And more often than not, they're really not that clear. So it's your job as a leader and a manager to help figure out what their job description is. But before you do that, write your job description. Put some time into it. I'm talking a half-hour quiet time, and you will be amazed at the things that you will begin to pay attention to that you're not paying attention to today. So, again, make sure that you communicate with your people what your expectations are, what their responsibilities are, but review with you first what your responsibilities are, so that you can be clear and you can communicate that plan to everybody up and down the line. You'll find that better communication, everyone understanding what their job description and their role is, will lead to more clarity, less customer problems, less internal problems, and a much smoother, less stressful running business. Mike, I want to thank you very much for hosting this today. I appreciate it, pal. And as always, anyone has any questions, feel free to contact me, Paul Morris, at 814-449-1899, and Mike will be sending out an email. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Mike. Thank you very much.